Okay, so the first thing I'm going to need for my roasted tomato and pepper soup is I'm going to need some roasted tomatoes. I've got 3 pounds of plum tomatoes that I have cut in half, and I'm putting them on my pan. I'm laying them out on some foil, because putting them on the foil makes my cleanup a lot easier, and I like easy cleanup. Okay, so my pan was big enough. I've got all 3 pounds on the one pan. I've got one medium normal size onion. I'm going to cut it into quarters. I'm going to add this to the pan. Now this tomato right here, was it this one? Yeah, right here. It had an ugly spot on it, so I cut it off. Don't worry about it. There we go. So we've got our onion on here, we've got our tomato on here. I've got 2 large cloves of garlic. These are still in the husk. We're going to throw those on there. Because the husk will help protect them a little bit. Tell you what, let's put our olive oil on first. There we go. We're going to just kind of drizzle it. A little bit on the garlic for sure. There we go. I'm going to sprinkle a little salt. Don't get carried away here, just a little bit. Okay, so when I go to serve the soup, I'm going to put a cilantro flavored oil, or something like a coulis or something like that, real fancy term. I've washed my cilantro. I have it mostly dry, and I've picked through it looking for leaves that are kind of ugly. I'm going to trim off the very bottom of the stem, because that's where a lot of dirt just kind of gets hung up and you can't get rid of it. Get rid of that. But the rest of the stems are going to go in here because stems have a lot of flavor in them. I'm just going to roughly chop this up. And I'm going to put it in here with a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. There we go. Okay, so we've got our cilantro in here. I'm going to put in 1 clove of garlic. Put a pinch of salt, maybe a little bit more than a pinch. Now I'm going to put about another tablespoon of olive oil on the top of this, just to help moisten that. I guess I should have put my olive oil in last, but you know, I don't always do things the smartest way. Okay, so in this recipe, I'm going to use some red bell pepper. Now as you can see, this is a really massive bell pepper, and I'm going to use about half of this, but I'm going to go ahead and roast it all off. Put that bottom on here. We're going to put that top on here. Now let's go ahead and let's just do this. Let's just cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. Now the seeds are off of here. And we're going to put this on here skin side up. Okay, so I have a poblano pepper. We're going to do about the same thing here. And we're going to just roast these. Like I said, I'm not going to use all of this. But hey, while I'm roasting peppers, might as well go ahead and roast some. I'll cut this seed out. Put that there. Okay, so it took 30 minutes to get them to this point. See how my tomatoes are kind of drying out a little bit. My garlic's got a little brown. I got just a touch of black spot on my onion. So everything is almost cooked, but not quite cooked. But that's fine. We're going to be cooking it in some chicken stock here in a little bit. Anyway, I've thrown my peppers in the oven, and we're going to cook those a little bit as well. And whenever they get done and this is cooled down, we'll continue making our soup. Okay, so my peppers are done. What we're going to do now, if I can get this thing here to work, I'm just going to put them in a bowl. I mentioned that earlier. I put them under a broiler at like 525 until they charred up nicely. What we're going to do, we're going to put them in here and let them steam for a few minutes, make them a little easier to peel. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so our peppers have been steaming for a little while. And what we're going to do, we're going to peel this skin off. If you can get it to peel off like this easy, then that's best. If you need to, you can use a knife. You can run them under water if you need to, although I prefer not to run them underwater. There we go, that's what we're looking for. And we're just gonna finish peeling all these peppers. Okay, so we have our peppers all peeled up. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna kind of dice them up a little bit, or chop them up. We don't have to get too carried away because we're just gonna throw them in the pot and we will be blending these here in a little bit. So anyway, I'm gonna finish chopping these up and I'll be back with you. Okay, so I've got my tomatoes and my onion and garlic in here. I'm gonna put in 4 cups of, or I'm gonna do it 3 cups. 3 cups of unsalted chicken stock. There we go. So that's 3 cups. We're gonna turn this on. Bring this up to a boil. We're going to put our peppers in here. I'm going to put a little bit of white pepper. There we go. Now, salt and pepper are going to be to taste. We're going to bring this up and then we'll check it for if we need any more salt or anything after we get it up to a boil. I'll be back with you. All right, one thing I noticed when I looked down at my pot is I forgot to peel the tomatoes. So anyway, I want those peeled because this peeling is not very appetizing right now because it's just like eating plastic. So anyway, I'm gonna take these out, but I wanted to show you that I was peeling the tomatoes. Okay, so I've been letting this bubble away for about 15 minutes. And now what I'm gonna do now is take my immersion blender and just start chopping everything up. Blend it up. We're going to turn off the heat. We're going to scoop off this foam. It's just air that's been blended in, but it definitely does not look pretty, so we don't want it. There we go. Now what we're going to do now is I got to taste it for salt. So I guess I need a spoon. Oh, look at there. There's a big hunk of tomato. It didn't get blended up yet. Anyway, be back in a second. So I definitely need a little more salt, which is not surprising. I mean, I used unsalted chicken stock. And then we're just going to let this go for a couple minutes. Or not really a couple minutes, just I'm going to get everything else ready while I'm letting that salt cook in. Okay, so here we are. Got our soup ready to go. Now I'm going to take some heavy whipping cream. You don't have to do this. We're going to take some of our cilantro oil, put that in there, and that's our soup.